Oh yes, what's going on YouTube? The Mad Flip here. So basically, today is what is today again? Is it June? Is it May or June? Oh, I'm sorry, Sorry, it's June 4th. June 4th. Today is The Sims 4 Eagle Lifestyle Pack, which I'm sorry, expansion that comes out today, or later on today, or actually early access is tonight, I think, or depending where you are in the world, it's tonight, or if not, tomorrow, June 5th. But anyways, as a Sims 4 player, for me to start off, I don't know. I mean, for one, it's after watching a lot of YouTube videos and other stuff about the Sims 4 game in general. I mean, my personal opinions on the game. I mean, this expansion, for one, I don't even know why we got an expansion for this ego lifestyle thing. I mean, if you can do certain things, it'd be cool, but at the same time, like they said, who actually wanted this? I mean, I know I forgot what YouTuber did it, but they did show that there was a poll before saying that people did want it as what you call that, stuff pack, not really an expansion pack, but what we're getting is expansion pack. Am I looking forward for the expansion pack personally? Well, I don't know. For $40, hopefully it's worth the $40. But I don't know. From what I've seen so far and people play, and I guess it's people's the way they play the game in general. But for me, I should just talk about the way I play the Sims game. For me personally, the way I play the Sims 4 personally, I play my sim from life to death, basically. Life to death, family generations. You make kids, you go down levels of generations. So you look at your family tree, which when I first got the original Sims 4 game, the base Sims 4 game, like, was it now 5 years, 6 years ago, anyways, when I first got it, I was shocked there was no family tree, and I was like, wait a minute, I've been playing the Sims game, those previous Sims game, like family generations, from birth to death. So basically, you start off, I created myself, and then normally I don't really make a spouse. I don't know, fool around the townies, I guess, or the creative people that I got. I mean, especially this one to get the gallery. So I just download one of these people's creation gallery, try to hit on them, get married, whatever, or get them pregnant, whatever, and then start from there. So you get either get married or just get them pregnant, whatever, and then just have kids, basically, right? So one kids, and like I said, what I really didn't like in the beginning of this Sims 4 is you couldn't kick people out. That's just terrible. Like, it is crazy to play. I get it for some people. They like playing, multiple Sims in their family. But for me personally, it was really irritating and it was slow. And plus, to the process, I don't know if it's just my computer, but it really lags the game. To me, it really lags my game. So it just takes a while to play multiple people. So if you have like, three, at least three, four people is fine. But after that, I don't know. In this game, I know you can have eight, but playing with eight people, I've done that. It's too crazy and it's just too hectic. And plus, too, like, you can't, do certain things with certain your characters because there's so many to control. So it's just crazy. So anyway, so normally I would just make myself, like I said, for myself and stuff, then have a kid. Get raise them to death, or I'm sorry, raise them from baby till they're born to older. Then do that cycle over and over and go generations down, which in the original game you couldn't do that until the updates, and I didn't realize it was only 10 generations down because I've gone probably like 8 9 generations. I don't know if I've gone past 10 generations because I've been trying to get past 10 generations, but the problem is every time my computer, if it get virus or crash, I end up, for some reason I don't understand. I thought you could save your games, but this one basically, if it's not saved, if like, I don't know, if you don't have a USB chip or whatever thing that is to file it, basically you start over. And I've started over millions of times, not millions of times, but exaggerating, but a lot of times over and over, just going a generation down, generation. And what's crazy is when you do that, when you play generation the way I play it, for one, your town, for example, wherever neighborhood you pick, you know like I was watching somebody else's YouTube about the previous, in the other, older Sims games. The older Sims games, gameplay wise, might be better than the Sims 4, but at the same time, what was crazy is, if you remember playing the older Sims game, is your town didn't age. Your town didn't age at all. So basically, if you played the way I played, man, you could be on your fifth generation, and the townie that you had originally never aged at all. They don't work. They didn't get a job. They didn't do nothing. It was crazy. And it's like, I'm like, what, 5 generations down? What is that? 5 generations down? What is that, like at least 100 years or something like that? I'm sorry, 500 years. So 500 years of game time. 500 years later, the same townie is still there doing nothing. And I'm like, that's crazy. And that's the original, the older Sims game. I think the first time they actually the townies age with you, I think was Sims 3 to be exact. I think so. It's Sims 3 because I know Sims 2 and Sims 1. Well, Sims 1 nobody dies in Sims 1. Sims 2, they did that life cycle thing. So you do age, you do die, and all that. So I thought it was pretty cool. Sims 3, I think, is the first time the town ages with you. So whoever you didn't play when you don't play those other family NPCs, they age and die. The only problem is like all the Sims games in general, even in Sims 4, whatever townie you don't play or other families you don't play, you realize they don't do anything. Yes, they're pre-made or whatever, so some of them actually have jobs and things. The only problem is they don't go to work because when you switch to those townies, you realize they don't go to work. Like, yes, they have a job, but they don't go to work. They basically don't do anything. And then they have kids, and then you figure the kids with the trade stuff, you think they do want to do something. No, they age and die and do nothing. It's weird. Even in the university, I thought it was weird. It's like, like I said, because you can kick kids out before the thing. Like I said, the same thing is when you try to age, kick them out and kind of deal, and especially in the Sims University, because you don't want to, like I said, you don't want to play multiple Sims because it's too hard. So, like send somebody to college or whatever in the Sims University, and put it this way, they don't go to class, they don't do anything. Like if you don't play them, it's like it's weird how you gotta play them to make them graduate instead of just, do what you want, let them hopefully go to school and do stuff which they basically stay in school and die. What kind of crazy system? And I mean that's why looking forward past this Sims 4 in general, which also, for a while I didn't really want a Sims 5, but I realized what they have done in Sims 4 in general, the no open world, and as a community, what we want, or what a lot of us want in the games and all that, expansions and all that, they're not doing the job, obviously. Not saying they're not. I feel like they ran out of ideas, and not only that too, I guess, one thing that did annoy me is that EA claims that to make a game costs at least $1 million to make a game, and you can't tell me any of these Sims game costs $1 million to make. I mean, that's just crazy. I don't buy that. For a game this simple, no real voice actors or anything, these games at least $1 million to make is really hard to believe. And obviously they're just milking it from the fans that are willing, like some of us are willing to spend for expansions and everything else. There's a lot of expansion packs I wanted, or themes I wanted. I do miss the actual supernatural, considering watching shows like the Vampire Diary, the originals, the other, I forget what that other show on HBO was, but anyways, the idea is that I thought was crazy is, okay, so your Sims can have kids with other Sims, or actually I take it back. You can have a spellcaster have a kid, you can have a vampire have a kid, you can have a a mermaid with a kid, but the problem is they cannot offspring with each other. How does that not work? Like, for example, the people who does this, did they not watch, like, for example, the Vampire Diaries, where there's actually hybrids and stuff? I'm like, in this Sims game, to make it interesting, they should actually be able to do that. Like actually be able to create an offspring of a hybrid or something. I don't know. I'm not sure what they do. And plus, I was watching some other YouTubers about the idea of disabilities, and I'm like, man, me personally, I'm suffering from a mental illness. I don't even know if I really want to play a character of myself with a mental illness when I'm like trying to enjoy the game instead of getting frustrated. Like, talking about people with disabilities, I mean, I get it, the idea of realism, and I'm like, realism in real life sucks, really. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of fun things to do, but there are a lot of things that suck, and it's like, to play some of that realism in a video game is crazy. That's why sports games drive me nuts, because the idea of realism in sports games, like for me, for example, I'm playing MLB The Show right now, or I'll put it on pause, but anyways, I'm playing MLB The Show, for example, and I know I'm going off topic, but anyways, the ideal of realism sometimes, even in sports games, you want to have fun, and sometimes the ideal of realism drags down the game. Like I said, using the example of The Sims, it drags it down, and that's why I'm like, The idea of realism is just crazy. I mean, you're trying to play a video and trying to have some fun or kill time, and especially for me personally, I think at this point I am probably looking forward to a Sims 5 in general because for what they have done with the Sims for what is it been 6 years already, 6 7 years, and surprisingly there's no Sims 5 yet, which is kind of surprising. But anyways, like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully this Eagle expansion pack is worth the money. Hopefully, or have some fun out of it. All right, everybody. Aloha, everybody.